Okay, so welcome again. Today is Growth Friday. I believe Chuck and Mark, this is probably one or your second time attending this particular session. I welcome you. They are 1 hour. The idea is that I go through the tool and you're following along with me. So if you have another device or your phone that you want to follow along with me, then the better, because I have learned through the years of training that it's sometimes better if you try while you're doing the training, just for it to sink in a little bit, and then you can practice after the session. So I'm going to be getting you ready to probably either use your other device, whether it's a tablet or phone or another computer, that you'll be able to watch what I'm doing or listen, and then you are able to implement at least one thing by the time we are done today. We're talking about Google Alerts. I've met most of you, but just in case, I'm going to introduce myself again. My journey in life right now is to be the best real estate educator out there, starting people real estate careers, walking them through passing the exam, and then also with professional development, which includes what you're taking today or continuing education or designations. My contact information is displayed. If we haven't connected yet and you're on social media, please let's continue that conversation there. This is made possible by our sponsor for today's session. It is Marvin Reese. I know some of you might already have title companies that you're using. Marvin Reese is another option that you are able to check out. And I just wanted to review again because I'm watching on my phone and wondering whether you're still able to hear me, because on the phone it looks frozen. So I'll be checking in just to make sure that you can hear me. So type in the chat or shout out on through your microphone that you can still hear me. Yes, frozen.
I can still hear you.
Okay, perfect. We'll be checking in often. Thank you for your patience, because I was looking at my phone and it did show that I had frozen a little bit, and that's technology for us. So this is made possible by Marvin Reese. He's a title person at CLA Title and Escrow. Check out what fees they have and compare it and see whether you are able to collaborate with him in the future. I always plant the seed of what's coming next. Next Friday, we're going to explore you becoming a good co-driver or the driver of a Zoom meeting. Right now, you probably have attended at least one Zoom meeting, including this one. Now we're going to switch it to the other side. Now you're the one who's going to host your meeting with a buyer client. You can easily do your buyer consultations on Zoom, your seller consultations as well on Zoom, going through the offer, going through the agreements. You can do that on Zoom. You can do buyer seminars and so on. So we'll go through what it is that you need to be aware of when you're the host in order to make it a pleasant experience for your attendees. So that's what we're doing on the 23rd. We're going to shrink it down a little bit in terms of what we actually cover, because again, Zoom, we could go for hours going through the training. So it is already presented on the website, and you'll get a map of what it is I'll be covering on that day. And then the last Friday, we have someone from Bright MLS coming to talk to us about Remind. If you haven't checked out Remind, that is a product through Bright MLS that what we're going to focus on is how you can find potential future sellers just based on the information that we feed online. Based on that data, they are able to gauge and let you know whom it is you are able to start marketing to, and that's on July the 30th. So now I get you ready to talk about Google Alerts, and I am going to probably ask a couple of questions in terms of Google Alerts. One is, what have you heard about it? So if you've heard about it, what is it to you, or is this new to you? So I'm gonna call out your name and just see where you are in terms of Google Alerts. So go ahead, Mark. What do you know about Google Alerts? Mark, you heard me?
Yes, I did.
Yes, go ahead. So what is Google Alerts to you? What have you heard about it? And an answer could be, I don't know anything.
I actually have a few Google alerts that are set up, and it's
Okay.
just kind of a filter on everything that's going on the internet for certain areas that are key importance to you.
Okay, good, good, good. Thank you. How about for you, Chuck? What's your exposure or experience with Google Alerts?
Kind of the same thing as Mark. I don't use it so much for real estate, but it looks like with the way the market is, it's that's my main reason for being on this day. But I primarily use it for other more financial aspects of the market. And it's in, I get alerts every day, but not so much for real estate. So I'm looking at how it can be actually applied directly to real estate.
Perfect. Thank you. How about you, Michael?
Yes, I've had it, but I've not been using it. That's at least if you set it up, it just from the name, maybe you give you a lot on what is going on, provided you set it and you are using it.
Correct, correct. Okay, thank you so much all for your feedback. So essentially, we're going to be blending in terms of from the beginner level and also to setting it up, and then obviously exposing what you already have or enhancing what you already have. So to start off with, Google Alerts is a Google product. It is no additional cost to you. You don't have to have a Google email to take advantage of it. And all it is, if I'm going to simplify it, it's an alarm that comes to your email giving you what you set it up for. So when I'm setting my alarm for it to wake me up at 4:45, then Google Alerts is almost like that, to where you're setting an alarm for what it is that you want to be fed on your email. How often do you want Google to send you that information as soon as it happens to your email, once a day or once a week? So it pretty much can be anything. When you set it up, it's going to start from the moment you create it, moving forward. So it's not gonna bring history. It's just gonna start from the day you set it up. And it is whatever is put online, and definitely whatever is going to be found by Google. So this is something just to be aware, is that it's a Google product. So it would be something that someone has been able to Google. And again, being an alarm or an alert, you're not going to know who or how many. All it is here is like your alarm to wake you up. So if I'm going to use the same analysis, it's an alarm just to show you what is out there based on what you searched for. And hopefully it shall, as I continue, if it is not clear, let me know. Here are some examples. Definitely, the first alert, or one of the many that you're able to set up, and there's no limit, is going to be your name. And probably Brenda needs to pause and ask, how do you get started? This is by going to google.com/alerts. So when you go to google.com/alerts is how you get started. I'm going to type in that website on the presentation right now. So google.com/alerts. Now there's always more than one way for somebody to be able to access something. So the other way could be if you go to alerts.google.com, doesn't matter which browser you go to. This is your beginning point. So no, I did that wrong. Sorry, I put it up and now you can't see the green part, but alerts.google.com, and then you can go to either google.com/alerts. This is what you're going to see. And here's where I have an example of what I have set up. And the reason why I have the word real estate as an example is if your name is, there are other people who have the same first and last name, then you might want to start attaching with what you do. So Mark is a good example. If I may use his example, there's potentially another Mark Gilbert out there in the universe. So then it would be Mark Gilbert real estate or realtor. And then when somebody does that search, or if there's any information inputted into the internet, Google, then Mark is going to receive it, but it's only tied into what? Mark Gilbert real estate or Mark Gilbert realtor. So you definitely need to set up one for your name. I'm going to say for me, I have Brenda Kasuva, just Brenda Kasuva, the name, because there are not that many of Brenda Kasuvas out there. I found actually a Kasuva before, but they're not, those are either my relatives or the other people I found were from Japan. So we're not that many. So I have Brenda Kasuva, just my name, Chuck. For example, for you, I would have your full first name, last name, and then I would set up another one if you want for just Chuck and then your last name, giving you examples. Michael, we saw that there are a lot of Michael Fakbemi out there. So probably, well, not a lot, just like me, it's not a lot, but you can set it up with the word real estate or realtor. Now remember here, when you're setting it up, this system is going to go based on how, I guess, Google thinks or how it works. So it will show specifically only anything that was entered online, exactly how you type it. So if you type in Brenda Kasuva real estate, that's exactly what I'm going to get. Anything that has those 4 words together, Brenda Kasuva real estate. So I might type in Brenda Kasuva realtor, so that most likely it's going to also provide me information to do with those 3 words, Brenda Kasuva realtor. Are we going along well? So if you're going to be setting this, good. So if you're going to be setting this up, so the first thing you're setting up is definitely your name. And I've given you variations of what you're able to do. You get to decide how often. However, if you're moving too quickly, and again, for the 2 of you who've already set it up, you can always make changes. Michael, when you set up so many, you can also delete them. So even if you went ahead and you selected something that now you want to make changes to, you always can. So the first thing is how often. Sources I always do automatic. I'll be going live to see what you're seeing. What I want to quickly jump to is how many results. Google will normally have the default of best results, and sometimes we don't pause, we're really moving quickly. So this is an option that I need you to pay attention to, just to know how it works. So all results just means, Google, please don't filter it for me. I want to be the one to filter what it is that I get on my email. So if nothing else, you have your name, how many, all results, you've selected how often, and then you're able to put which email. Doesn't have to be a Gmail account. You are able to then create an alert and you'll get emails. So let's see what else you're able to do to enhance what you already have. You're going to be getting emails. So for example, for me, I have an alert for Maryland Realtors. Again, anything that has Maryland Realtors, a lot of the times I get newspaper articles for, like, let's say Mark or Chuck or you, Michael, you've been featured on your local newspaper, and then they say Brenda, a member of Maryland Realtors. So sometimes it's not something coming from Maryland Realtors. Again, why? Google is just sending me anything that has those two words together, Maryland Realtors. Okay, so just be aware of how it works. It will not filter it and say, well, I think, Brenda, what you wanted was anything that was posted about Maryland Realtors. No, it's not just going to send me what was found online with those two words together. And that's why you're seeing this. For example, if they quote Maryland Realtors on a piece of article, then I'm going to get it as well, which is the point of me setting this up. So you get an email. Here's where we're going to talk about examples of what probably you can set up. And Chuck and or Mark or Michael, I don't know if you've said any, you can add on to what else you are able to set up. Definitely your name and or variations of your name. And then if I'm going to be biased, just from my experience, I also have set up for my family members. So my daughter, my spouse, my mom, my sister, and my brother, all 6, I have it. And that's just me. Anytime something that will be posted online, I'll be able to get an email and then we'll have a conversation if needed based on what I found. So I definitely have one for myself and my family. And then when it comes to my family, since my child is still going to school, I have also set one up for her school. If anything is posted online to do with her school, then Brenda is aware of that. Definitely your brand, and here your brand could be your tagline or your hashtag. Definitely you want to have that posted. So all you're doing here is to keep yourself abreast of what is happening. Your brand could also be your company or whomever you are affiliated with. Definitely you would have an alert for that. And the reasoning behind it is so that you're aware of whom you're attached with, what is being presented online, so that when people are asking you questions, you kind of have an idea based on the alerts that you have been setting up and receiving. Already talked about family, competition. Some of you might not think about it. I think about it just for me to see what, again, my competition is doing, and competition is relative. Is it someone in your office that you just want to see what activity is happening or they are doing? Is it another office that you, again, just want to see what news they are posting? You're a broker, you want to see how other brokers' information are being presented online. Definitely competition is one to think about. Current listings, or future listings, or listings that did not work out. This is you being curious to see what is happening in that particular market. And listings, the point of view is, unless it is your neighborhood, sometimes you can't keep up with what is happening with the activity that you have. So if my friend, for example, that called me 2 weeks ago, she wants to put her property on the market. I'm a little bit familiar with that neighborhood because I visited her several times. But what I did immediately is set up an alert for her address. So you can put in the address, 167 Washington Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland, 21222. And that's an alert that I will get for that specific address. So probably now I'm thinking, Brenda, maybe you should set up an alert for your address in case it was mentioned by mistake anywhere in the news, but maybe that's a sidetrack. So I set up an alert for my friend's house. Again, why? We haven't listed yet. It is right now a conversation. So before we sign the listing agreement, what if she decides to go ahead and list with someone else? And when you've been in the business for a while, you know that is not a story. Sometimes it does happen. So I just want to know what is happening with that address. And then when we list it, you can also see how much exposure it does get after you list it. So definitely the listing address. that you have for your listing, that or future one, and then the ones that did not work out, just for you to track what is happening with it. I get that we can use the Bright MLS auto email. This one is a little bit different because it's showing you what has been presented online. So that's about listings. And then farming market area would be, just like it sounds, you want to either become the expert of an area, or you just want to see which area do you want to now start marketing to. So yes, your MLS does provide you statistics. Remind could help you with that. NAR, RPR could probably help you with that. You've probably been mailing out something to a neighborhood. Here, using Google Alerts is where you're just being told what's happening in that area. And so that when you're getting ready to list a property, you're showing up and you have an idea what it is that has been posted online about this particular area. I'm going to also segue and talk about on the buyer side, just because Michael and I are connected. Michael, another example for you to set up is when you get a buyer under contract, that address, I would put it also as one of my Google alerts. Why? Anything, again, that is posted about that particular address or that subdivision or area, this is a heads up. It's not, again, it's maybe something you cannot do anything about, but it's all about you being aware or abreast of what is happening. So these are all alarm systems that are examples. So when we talk about what you already have, Mark, what is it that you already have? I'm trying to see how we can enhance that. Mark, you there? Okay, let me see if it can help on my side. There you go. What do you already have set up?
I had advisories for, I was at the point that I set them up, these. So advisories for the specific countries and areas, also where I have some friends that live overseas, and some about the kind of metro area that I'm in. But I do need to go and revise. At times it became overwhelming, the number of items that came in.
Yes.
But yeah, I need to go in and revisit it. So that's why your meeting here was a good reminder to go in and do that.
Good. So let me see whether I can log into mine. And Chuck, you mentioned right now yours are on the financial side, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Not to get into the weeds, but I do a lot of cryptocurrency investing. So a lot of the alerts that I get are specifically on esoteric segments of the cryptocurrency market, because I also do algorithmic trading. So that's really where I get a lot of my alerts right now, but I want to do more for real estate.
Right. Okay, so you know, for your financial side, I guess you set it up for as soon as it happens. So with real estate, maybe you can set it up for once a day or once a week. At least you'll be able to do that. And hopefully this conversation has given you some ideas as to what you'll be able to set up. At bare minimum, since you're branding yourself, yes, with the realistic commission rules in terms of advertising, your broker comes along with you. But Chuck, since I know you're a broker, for you, since you're branding yourself, then it's good for you to just know immediately when something is posted online, you get an alert for it.
Yes, thank you.
Good. So these are examples of how you can use these searches. I'm going to introduce some of the kind of next level in terms of searching. So notice here when I'm putting in my name, I did not just type in my name. I have the quotations, and quotations is the computer speak of saying, I'm very specific. I don't just want Brenda. I don't just want to search for Kasuva. I am very specific that I want these two. And it's almost like you're narrowing the window to just this that you have within the quotations. So if you're writing your notes or you are actually setting this up, this is the method that you would use in order for you to be very specific. So open quotations, whatever it is that you need, close quotations. And then I'm telling it, you know what, sometimes people misspell my name. So if you don't find Brenda Kasuva, then how about, so that's where we have the or is an option. Or would be what would separate the two things. So dear Google, if we find something that is posted and it has Brenda Kasuva, send it to me. Or if someone misspells my name, which happens a lot, and now I'm thinking I should probably have one with just one S as well. So it will be, let's be very specific, Google. That's where you want your quotations to open and end what statement you want to be specified for you to get those alerts. So hopefully you're going to be practicing that. Quotations is where you want to be very specific in terms of what it is you are searching for. We mentioned listings. So listings, I'm going to say you do need to have the whole address, because there's potentially another 1617 Washington Avenue somewhere. So if I'm going to stock a property, then my 2 cents, otherwise, as you heard Mark sharing, sometimes it can get overwhelming. And why? Because probably our search criteria was not specific enough. That's why you're getting such a broad idea or just a broad alert of what it is that it finds. So if you're going to stock a property, definitely put in the whole address on your alert setup. And then this is where it will show you kind of what it's going to find once you start typing. Remember, again, once you hit save, it's from that moment forward. It's not going to give you history. When I talk about competition or checking out, again, your competition, sometimes we just want to see what they are doing online, excluding a couple of things. So what I'm getting at, for example, is I want to exclude, I already know my social media, what content is going in there, because I have taken the time to make sure that whatever is going on to that social media website, Brenda has control of it. And I have my settings such that if anyone tags me, I have to review it. So since I already know what is being posted on social media, because again, Google Alert is not going to try figure out what Brenda really wants. So you have to be very specific. So what I'm sharing with you is where you want to exclude certain things. So if I'm going to be checking out competition, for example, it would be quotations, whatever the company or the person you want to stock in quotations. And then once you put that, so this is where you're going to write for your notes, or you're going to take a screenshot of it so that when you're setting it up, you will remember. So you're going to say minus or exclude minus the site, the word site. So I don't want to get anything from this site to do with Brenda Kasuva. So minus site, the colon, and then the name of the website. So I put my social media again, if I'm going to review, because I know what's in there. I'm the one that's putting it in there. I haven't hired anyone to put it there for me. So I just want what is going in the internet, excluding my social media. So anytime you want to exclude, I'll review it again, whatever you want to exclude from receiving. If I'm going to tie the dots is when you go to Bright MLS and you want to exclude certain areas, this is where we were taught to put the exclamation point, right? And then if it's a wild card, we were taught in MLS to put the asterisk. So kind of borrowing from that story, this is where we are going to exclude certain websites. And if you want to exclude certain websites, I keep reviewing it so that hopefully you will understand how this works. It's minus site, whatever site it is. If it is more than one, you keep doing that as many sites as you want to exclude. And that's the example here. I'm excluding anything on Twitter because I put it in there. I'm excluding anything on LinkedIn because I put it there. And I'm excluding anything on Facebook and all the other social media. So I don't really want to get those alerts because I'm already getting notifications on those different platforms when I go to log into those platforms. Feedback, questions on this part? We've covered two major things. One is quotations, is where you're being specific what it is that you want to get, quotations. And then if you want to exclude a website, it's minus site colon the name of the site. And you don't need to put the HTTPS ://www, just whatever the site is before the .com or .net or .org. Feedback, comments, questions? Okay. Here's where we finish the last thing, and then I'll wait to see if you've set up any since we've been talking and get feedback from you as to how it is working out. The last thing to review for you to be aware of is, for example, on my side, I have set up 26. At any time, I can delete anything that I don't want to work anymore. And let me review. I have a search specific for my social media accounts, all at Brenda Kasuva. So I have that in case somebody tries to set up an account using my name and there's already posted online, I can get an alert on that. And then some places it might just be my first name, last initial. So I have that. I showed you my name. I showed me in Baltimore. So I have that search. So you're noticing what it is that I have searched for. And at any time in review, you can always go and make changes to it and add on, or you have the opportunity to delete it. This is yours whenever you go to google.com/alerts. Sometimes whatever you have set up is you're getting an alert for each one. So what if you wanted to minimize the multiple emails? So hopefully, Mark, this is going to share another option for you to consider to limit how many emails you're getting. So when you click on the wheel, and again, the wheel is after you have already started setting up your alerts and you're on the website, google.com/alerts. When you click on this wheel, which you'll see on the right-hand side, then you'll get two options. So it will be option number one, Brenda, what time do you want to receive these alerts? So this is something actually I've been using Google Alerts, and I never looked at that wheel until when I was getting ready to prepare for this class. And I was like, oh, that's how that works. So this is how you are able to decide when do you want your email to ding in terms of when Google has sent you an alert to your email. That's my preference. So this is where you're going to select that time. Hopefully in review that is found. Once you've set up the alerts, you click on the wheel, and then you'll be able to select what time you want to be getting those alerts. Digest would be, instead of Brenda receiving an email alert for all 26 when it happens, because what if I get alerts for all 26 on the same day? That might be a lot. So this is where digest is where you are able to make it to where you select, instead of getting all 26 at different times, can I just digest it once in one email? So when you go to digest, I believe there's two options. I'm going to log in and triple check as to you getting just one single email with all the alerts that it found. And while I'm doing that, let me see if there are any questions or something that you would like for us to review because you were trying it on your side as well, and maybe you missed a spot. Let me know. But I'm logging into my Google. And again, here is where you have that option for settings. And I was going to confirm again for digest. So at most once a day or once a week. And again, here's where you can change it will automatically remember which email it's going to be sent to. Feedback, questions, comments. Okay, wonderful. So we have gone through examples, and now I'm curious because again, the whole idea of me offering these workshops is let's not just listen, let's go in and actually do it, because you're spending the time anyway listening to me, so you might as well do it. So I'm curious, Michael, what alert have you already set up?
Not said any alerts. I just.
You'll come back and do, well, I guess you're honest. You'll remember to come back and the steps.
Yeah, saying it, I'm writing it down.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you said, let me tell you the steps now. You said google.com/alert or alerts.google.com.
Good.
And I've mentioned my name, the real estate, or select the results and the email. And I wrote down all my name, the brand, the company. I wrote it down, and even my name with the quotation mark. And if somebody maybe misspelled your name, I wrote down and I put the quotation mark. The all, you said my name all in case.
Correct.
Maybe somebody misspelled your name instead of Kasuva or Kasuva. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Good. Let me probably.
All the steps, as you are mentioning, I'm writing all the steps. So.
I like that. You should write my handout then. So what I wanted to remind you is that when you're setting it up, remember if you could write for yourself under how many, make sure you have all results, because the default is going to be best results, where Google is thinking what it is that you want.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, Chuck, have you set any?
Yes, I have. I've actually, as you were talking about setting, I set one for my name, my legal name in quotes, and I've set one specifically for my brokerage, and I've set 3 for listings that I currently have working right. I do a lot of distress stuff, so I set 3 for the distress listings I have right now.
Good, good, good. Now, what I'm going to enhance is others to think about is the neighborhood as well. So what I have going on with my friend is the address itself, and then the subdivision, Deerwoods, Hamilton, whatever it is, the subdivision of that particular area. And that's easy. You can get that from the tax records, or you can get it from the MLS, and then that's a separate alert system as well. And so what it would be, for example, would be Deerwood, quotations, and then I also want like which area of Deerwood, Baltimore, Maryland, Silver Spring, Maryland. So I would set up an alert for that neighborhood as well. Okay, wonderful. Mark, are you able to share as well?
Yes, certainly. I've added my name and business, Mark Gilbert Real Estate, and added a few other companies that I'm kind of tracking. We'll be adding some more geographic kind of regions that I'm working in as well.
Good, good, good. Wonderful. Okay. I like it when you actually attend a session and you get it done. So looks like we did it in time.